Hello all.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Hi, sir.
Good
Hi, sir.
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
So, eh, so shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So, I hope all of you have joined. Those who wanted to join. This is the first session of this course, right? And we are going to basically talk about AI ML, kind of things as a part of this course. And I hope you have gone through the course outline. Okay. So primarily we'll be doing AI and ML, and we'll try to bring a context related to the marketing, right? Fine. Now, as per the course outline for today's session, this one is scheduled, right? The discussion on the case. So, did you read the case?
Yes. Sir.
Yes, that's fine. So, once I finish some introductory part on AI and ML, then after that we will discuss the case. And I expect that wherever there is some reading or case given in for any particular session, that you might have gone through it, right? So that is my expectation. Please go through it, at least skim through it, and so on, right? So I'm assuming that you got all of the cases and readings and all that. Okay. Fine. So let's start. So AI is something which has become very popular nowadays. And ML is one, I would say, engine which is powering AI. So most of the data-driven things which are happening in the context of AI is being pushed by ML algorithms and all that. Okay. So I am Rajhans Mishra. I am faculty in information systems area. Primarily focus on emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, IoT, something like that, and also on technology strategy and something, right? So this is my core area in which I do teach as well as do research. Fine. So let's start. So why do you think AI and machine learning is that important? What is that context and which relates it to the marketing or to any domain? Just few thoughts I wanted to take before I start so that I get to know what understanding you have with respect to AI, ML, or its linkage with marketing and all that. So
It is better at scenario building. Data gets represented across in the right manner.
Okay,
without
so data
much.
data is one keyword. Okay, fine.
Right.
Build across yeah, data. Then what?
And
Some scenario.
time to execute and time to go to market also reduces because you get better response time as
Okay.
compared to one if you were to apply logic individually.
Yes.
Not saying there is a little bit of a definite advantage in using AI and ML.
AI, animal and all that, right?
Optimize
I also
everything.
request that whenever you speak, just first mention your name so that I can just gauge who is talking, right? Though I am putting it here in the bigger screen, but it will be good. Fine. So you got something, right? So you have some data and you wanted to achieve something in a better represented way in something, right? Yeah. Anyone else? Why this AI ML is so important and why it is related to marketing or something else?
To drive efficiencies of whatever campaigns we want to run. If we want
Okay.
to, if there is a NPI, if there is a new services that we want to expand,
Hmm.
what should be the criteria, what should be the prerequisites, and on
Right.
what basis do we decide is where
Hmm.
AI and ML? Because even in the
Yeah.
case study, we see that Netflix is a data-driven company and how it has helped them to increase the revenue so much.
Correct. So you are basically talking about the performance side, right? When you have done something and you wanted to just evaluate what works in market and what doesn't work in the market, right? Fine. So in general, all of you will agree that this is the era of data. Okay. And data driven activities are being executed, or I would say formulated. And the reason is multiple. One, you can get higher level of automation because of the data which is coming at different levels. Okay. And what do I mean by automation? That some kind of business rules which are hidden in operations, right? They can be operated on real time basis or near real time basis to execute something. Okay. And data driven activities are have taken the center stage because that is more close to the reality. Data never lies, provided you have captured it correctly. Okay. So I can automate at higher level. I can micromanage the things, right? You already have a lot of technologies like microservices, so many things, API and all that, right? Which are primarily triggered based on some kind of scenario which is coming up on a ad hoc basis, right? So if you look at the pricing, right, is one of the decision, or discounting is another decision. So one way of doing it, okay, on the basis of your domain expertise. Second is on the basis of the actual performance of the product in the market, right? And the way it is being executed in the given context, right? Bundling, okay, what kind of product should be bundled and what with how much price level, right? How many threads to be generated with respect to each of the products, and most of the things are automated. I will show you one small video which will describe, not today, but in coming sessions, which will describe all those kind of specific activities also, right? But today I would like to build a context for AI and ML. Also would like to cover a little bit on AI and ML, not too detail in terms of technicalities, but more on the understanding, conceptual understanding, as well as execution philosophy, right? So this is the primary motivation for first two sessions. Right. Now, let me tell you, most of the marketing campaigns which are being run, they are done with the help of data itself. And most of them are significantly automated. As a user, or as I would say, the marketing head, or someone who is working in the marketing domain, your task is to find out those rules which is coming from the data. Okay. Validate those rules, whether those rules are in line with your business propositions or not, and then you superimpose those rules on top of your marketing engines and all that, right? I would like to give few examples, why data is important and how data is creating the value, right? uh, but I would not like to start with from the marketing directly, rather from the operations, because this is how the data is getting into the systems, right? I hope all of you believe this, or have this thing understanding that data is a real asset. Okay. And there's a new term, or I would say tagline in the market, which says data is new oil. Okay, that means the way oil is being used for monetization, data can also be used for the monetization, right? But we really need to understand how data can be used for monetization and all that over a period of time. Okay, so by the way, do you really think can someone make money out of data, or businesses can be profitable just because of the data?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How come?
Yes, totally.
So Anmol, this side, companies like MyGate, which are into RWA data, which collect RWA data and all that, they also sell it across to other business partners. They can advertise basis that. And similarly, there are other database engines that sell it across to HNI data. They collect
Yes.
HNI data and they sell it to the card providers and card acquisition providers to sell them to get more more number of people onto their cards, and also to increase the average spend per card user. So they sell it per lead or on a bulk databases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you are in the right domain. So this was the, I would say, the initial platform or area where data is being aggressively used to generate revenue to build business model. And I think you have mentioned the company's name, but we also have very big companies like Google, Alphabet, and Facebook. How they're making money? What is their asset? The only asset they have is data. Okay,
Yes.
and they are profitable, by the way. And in which domain they primarily get on is online ads, right? So what is their capability? That they can better identify which kind of ads should be shown to which kind of person.
Audience.
Okay, and they have a better reach also. And let me tell you, these kind of activities will always have low click-through rates. Why? Because the scope or scale is much higher. Okay, billions of impressions can be created within few seconds or within few minutes. Okay, but the click-through rate will be low because the scale is high. Okay, still with lower click-through rate, the companies do make a lot of money. Okay, now Google in fact gives a lot of free services, Gmail, your Drive, your Maps, and so on. Okay, they are free in terms of monetary transactions to you, but they actually collect your data. Okay, now I would like to build upon how that data is useful. But do you really think your data is that much useful so that these people are willing to give you this kind of valuable service for free? Where is the value for the data?
Individually, sir, it is not valuable, but when collectively in a segment and basis, what our behavior pattern is, it really adds up. They sell their base map patterns to various companies to further build on that. Similarly, they sell our preference data packs. For example, if we are consuming certain celebrity content, they sell it as an ad pack, which is called a celebrity ad pack, which to targeted ad-based customers. So they do collect data, and when compiled at a larger level, it really does add value to the marketers.
Correct. So, I mean, the very good example could be, sorry, the Google Maps. Now, earlier the maps was only map. Okay, now in the map you get the data with respect to the the traffic also. Now, how that data is coming because of the aggregate presence of the people, right? So you are traveling with your Android and all that phones, and that data is being captured. Okay, so individually that movement of one person is not that much relevant, but aggregate level, it gives the traffic information. So data at aggregate level makes more sense, right? Second is, if you look at advertisement based business model, which is, I would say, most preferred business model in online context, what people want is you should click their ad. And how many times you click the ad in Facebook or in Google and all that? Very less number of times. And the reason is, and when do you click the ads? When it is relevant to you. Now, how this will be relevant to you? Maybe directly or indirectly. Okay, so that is the main fundamental problem which these people have, that if ad is relevant, these people will click it. But I don't know how the ads are, I don't know what these people are looking for. Okay, so I need to get more information, real-time information with respect to the user, And then if I have that aggregate information, okay, coming from multiple sources, I may have a better idea of what this person might be looking for. Okay, so in Facebook, whenever what they want two things: that you stick to the Facebook platform, you consume more and more content. Okay, so that's why they curate the content, especially the reels and all those kind of videos, which is relevant to you. Now they have more data by the way. And earlier it was only the feed, text feed. Now which people are reading. Now people are continuously consuming the video content, right? So they have all the information what kind of content somebody is actually consuming, and based on that they give that kind of content only, and in between there are ads, and because of which they make money out of it, right? Similarly, with Google, they have all your data. Google has all your data, by the way, okay, because everything is on Gmail, and even they read your emails, right? Not manually, but with the help of a machine, right, which is set of code. And you can see that whenever you get an email, you get a customized reply option. How? The option is being customized based on the content. That means somebody has read that email, right? It is being passed through a machine, and machine would have done all those kind of analysis, and then based on the that particular analysis, they have given the outcome. Even the PDFs are being read and so on. So that means the data is being used to create a profile, and that profile is dynamic. Okay, profile contains many information: your web logs, your set of activities which you are involved in with respect to your email, and even if you are traveling, that ticket is coming to your email, they know where you are traveling and on which state, right? So more contextual ads will come, right? It's more about mapping or matching the supply to the demand, right? And because I know if I give you something which you're looking for at a given price point, which is relevant for you, there's a high chance of, conversion. Fine. Now, this is, I would say, one domain which have enriched over a period of time. Now we are moving much ahead, right? Why? Because the amount of data which is coming right now is much, much higher in terms of detailing, in terms of the volume, both, right? So, and especially if it is coming from devices like your mobile phone, or we got something called IoTs, and IoT will come up very soon, right? In fact, you already have many of you are already having IoTs with you. Okay, all the new cars which you are buying, they are IoTs. Okay, so they actually capture a lot of data which can be integrated with any ecosystem where all the data streams can be pasted and so on, right? So IoT is going to bring a different kind of ecosystem, right, in the given context. We'll discuss that also, right? Okay, so I would like to start with the example of how the data is actually helping, right? So till now we are just talking that data will help this, that, so many things and all that, but we should have some crisp examples, right? And I would like to start with very simple example. So initial I would say use cases of the data driven things was there for the supply chains. Okay, so anyone who is working in supply chain, they know that the biggest issue with them is how to contain the cost of logistics, especially in case when the physical movement of the products are involved. Okay, so if we talk about say a store called say DMart, right? Now DMart may have say 15-20 stores in a city. What do you think? The demand in each of the location will be same or different, or similar or different?
It shall be different.
It should be different. Yeah.
It should be different, right? Is it a good idea to, provide the supplies to different stores based on some kind of customized demand, or based on some kind of predefined heuristics?
Based on customized demand.
Right? So there's a business case that I know very well, that the demand for the products will be different in different locations. So one way of channelizing your logistics or supply chain will be you just do on the basis of some kind of predefined rules, vanilla kind of solution. Okay. Second is, let me get information from the site itself, right? And based on that, let me customize the products which has to be shipped. Okay, so I know these kind of products will be higher demand in this area, and this kind of products will be higher demand in this area, right? Now, in normal situation, demand will always be fulfilled by supply, provided demand is well known. I'm talking about routine situation. But the problem is demand is highly uncertain. Okay, you cannot stop the customer of that particular store to buy this much amount of this and this much amount of that, and you cannot control that, right? Plus, there's a lot of variation because of various events, maybe weather or maybe something else and so on. So demand is always uncertain. Just think about perspective of demand. If they ship any product which is not required, okay, so that particular product is first of all holding a area or just occupying a space, shelf space. So that's the opportunity loss for some product which could be placed there. Plus, there will be cost of clearance of that particular product which is not getting sold. Okay, so either you have to give deep discount to clear it off, or you have to do the reverse logistics, ship it somewhere else. Okay, compared to approach where you just populate those shelves based on what will be the requirement at that particular store. So obviously the second one is better. The first one will put a lot of additional cost, right? So will bring a lot of cost. So there is a clear case of analytics or data driven thing where if you ship only those products which are required, so your cost will be low. So there are two ways of making money. Either you increase the revenue or you bring down the cost. So this is the example of bringing down the cost. Based on the current requirement of the store, I have brought down the cost of my shipment, and this is nothing but saving in the supply chains and logistics management, right? But the thing is, I need to continuously sense that what is the requirement at the store. Now, this problem is simple to write, but difficult to execute. Considering you have said 20 or 30,000 of SKUs, the demand motivations you're not aware. Okay, there could be various kind of attributes which will be defining that which product will be picked up and when and what and by whom. Okay, so now you have to find out all those hidden rules from the data itself. Okay, so you run various models and try to work out which variable is an important variable with respect to this particular movement or sales and so on. Which products are going together and why this, and which one is the more core product, which is the product which is being driven away, right? So similar to the thing which is being mentioned in the case, that you have to subjectively analyze the data with respect to the context, and then you have to work out for the rules. Fine. Now, but this is again a starting example of the front end, the back end, where the cost is being reduced. This is very well practiced in the big retail stores. Nowadays, practice in almost all the retail stores, but it is being started by Walmart. So Walmart used to have, Walmart is kind of our big bazaar. Okay. In fact, Big Bazaar copied Walmart, right? So very big stores, and they have to ensure that their products are priced at a lower level so that people come to them and buy with them. So cost reduction was very important for them, and inventory management is very, I would say pivotal for that, right? So what they have done, they have built end-to-end systems so that whenever any purchase is happening, that product inventory is being automatically updated. Okay. Now, whenever that inventory goes below a level based on the consumption pattern, okay, a signal will be generated and will be automatically given to the suppliers, okay, that now this is the time to refill. So before that particular product goes for the stock out or something, the product is being shipped. So they do not want product to come till the time it is being sold, and they also want product should be there the moment it is being sold out. So this is actually called just in time. Okay. So because I don't have that much amount of space to store, and I do not want to lose out on the sales also, right? So that's why they have connected all the systems, front end to back end, front end operations and back end. That simply means if you have systems which are connected, what is being connected is the flow of data. Okay. So better connected systems in terms of flow of data will be more efficient because you will get to know what is happening. Okay. So efficiency and data flow is having direct relationship. Fine. And end-to-end connected systems are the key to achieve that. And that's why nowadays we are talking about digital transformation, integration and all that, where we want to connect front end to the back end to the, in between medium as well, right? So this is what is being done to get more useful data, connected data, and this will bring higher level of automation. You need not to intervene every time in terms of operation. Rather, you have to just work on the data at the back end and find out those kind of rules. For example, in this case, what should be the minimum inventory level at which I have to order. Okay, so this rule you have to identify as a data scientist or data analyst and all that. And the moment that is being identified, the system will trigger that and so on. Okay, let us take some front-end examples. Okay, so I hope most of you are aware that there is a very popular rule, right, which is being identified by Walmart itself, that when the products are being sold, they've wanted to identify the association. That means what kind of products are being going together. So that can be helpful in terms of bundling and pricing and all that. So they found a very interesting rule, and rule was, the beer and diaper were having very high correlation with each other in one of the location. Okay, how many of you are aware of this particular story? Raise your hand if you know it. Okay, fine. So seems nobody. But this is a very popular one. Yeah, Harish, Mr. Harish is knowing this. Fine. So what happened is, so they got this rule. Now this wherever any rule has to be implemented, this is the task of the data scientist and data analyst, right? Which I was mentioning, that you got the data, then you work out, do data crunching and find out some kind of actionable rule. So they found out this rule, which is very, very powerful. I would say very significant. But they have to justify this, right? The moment you got the rule, you have to just check whether this is spurious rule or this is actually a business rule. Okay. So they have done some kind of, backtracking, some kind of further descriptive analysis, some kind of interviews with the customers and so on, just to support whether this is a real rule or not. And they have found this rule is more significant during the weekends, right? Friday night and all that. And what they have realized that the reason for that was that in few locations, significant number of ladies used to go for the kitty party on the Friday night, and the responsibility of the fathers to take care of the kids, right? So while coming back from the office, these people used to buy a diaper for the baby and beer for himself, right? So this is what they have identified. Okay, again, data driven. So highlight the alarm is being raised by the data, right? Another rule, right? They also find another rule that a lot of people who are in the age of say 70, 80, they're buying footballs, right? So is it, what could be the reason?
For grandchildren?
Yeah, so that could be obvious reason. Anyone else?
They wanted to gift it to the grandchildren.
Grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. And that seems logical, but again, you have to verify that. So they verified. And after verification, they realized this. In their checkout counter, it was kind of mandatory to give the date of birth. So many times there's a lot of rush. So it is difficult to capture the date of birth many times of the customer, right? Many times customers are not willing to reveal that. So what these people used to do, the counter people, they press 1 6 times. Now why 1 6 times? Because this is the only number which is valid 6 times. No other number will be valid, right? And 6 times press it and this is like done. So most of the people are getting born on 11th of November 1911. That means this was not a rule. This is simply a data quality issue. So though we are talking about database systems, data-driven system, it is very, very much important that you check the data quality, whether this is really representing the core operations or the clear phenomena, or this is coming because of something else. Okay. So, and because they have tried to find out the logical reason for it, and that's why they could have identified this is a spurious pattern, this is not the real pattern. Right? Fine. Third thing I would like to talk about, this is more about, kind of a question to you in terms of a problem which is being identified, right, by target stores, right? Now, you may find most of the examples are coming from all those XYZ stores which are outside. I agree to this. And the reason is, initially things have started from there. Second, in Indian context, nobody is willing to share the data. So how, from where you will get the examples? But I will try to bring few examples from India also, right? But let us talk about few, I would say, very talked about examples and all that, right? So Target Store was having, they have realized one thing that under this category called or segment called mother and baby care, they are not the preferred choice. So people are coming to them, they are buying in different stores, but this particular segment is underperforming. So they do all this kind of analysis, right? Category wise and store location wise and so many things, right? And for that, people are going for other stores. Now, this is a concern for them because, mother and baby care segment is a very profitable segment, where emotions are involved, people do make money. Okay, it's highly profit margin kind of thing. I mean, if you go in India itself, you go to any mall, you can find pram up to easily you can find pram up to 30,000-40,000 rupees, right? If you are willing to pay. That I can see in Indore at least. I don't know about Delhi and Mumbai, but in Indore I could find a pram up to 30,000-40,000 rupees. If you add few more thousands of bucks, you can buy a motorcycles, right, or bike, something like this, right? So this is the price or margin is there. So this was a concern. So they wanted to solve this problem. Okay. Now how, and this is a typical marketing problem, by the way, sales and marketing problem. How to, can data be used to solve this problem and how to build it? Now here, you do not need to know anything about data mining, machine learning, AI and all that. Just think about from the business perspective that how, what kind of data you can use to do what to resolve this issue. Just think about it. I gave you a business problem.
So we can look at the footfall data of the mothers to which aisle they go on to, and using visual merchandising principles, the placement of the said goods which have problem in the sales can be placed accordingly, and to see how the buyer is navigating into between the aisles. That could be one data point.
Fine. You can think about many. Okay. Anyone else?
So there could be one more data point, like if a mother is walking in the retail store, if she buying a medium range products like Himalaya, or she is buying the Chico or the other branded products. This may also give us a reference point if for the same bottle of cream, they are spending 100 rupees or 300 rupees. So that's where we can get the mindset of a consumer, whether they are price conscious or they are brand conscious or they are quality conscious.
Fine. Okay. So we can get into all this kind of very, I would say, high-end thing, but let's start with very simple thing. Okay. And simplicity of design for solution is very much important. That is very much important for product design. That is very much important for service design. Right. So let's think about it. What is my problem that I do not know? Okay, who is going to enter into this particular segment? So I am giving coupons to my, customers, loyalty points to my customers and all that. But I don't know who is looking for what product. If I get to know who is going to enter in this phase, I can offer or match that kind of coupons to him or her. I got your point. So as we have agreed that if something is relevant to us, we will try to use it, isn't it? So if I say I'm going to give you 10% discount coupon on this particular segment of products, right? So one is you do mass market, but there's a cost for it. 10% mass market and so many people buy and so on. And second one is you do customize only for this particular category, right? And only to the subset of people who might be interested in this so that they avail it. You can further categorize it on the basis of the customer lifetime value and all that, right? So maybe I will give this 10% coupon in the maternity wala thing to my top 20% customers. Within that, I will identify whom should I target, right? So the problem is I do not know who is entering into this particular phase of life. Fine. Nobody will tell directly. You cannot ask even. Okay, that's quite weird. So you have to first create the data set, your learning data. Okay, so what they said, they have created a program. Said, and everything is being purchased through cards and all that. So the membership card, so they can always trace back what you did maybe 6 months back or 1 year back and so on. Okay, so they said if you register for this program, mother and baby care, we will give you very deep discount, and the discount was quite lucrative. Whenever you run any campaign for which the purpose is data collection or awareness, do not hesitate to give this discount because else people will not come. Okay. So once they find, okay, the discount is actually significant, they will be interested. So a lot of people registered. Okay. And when they register, they get to know. And then they have traced what they are buying in future, as well as they have also traced back what they have bought in the past. And they have created significant amount of data points for it. And they ran this campaign for, say, significant duration of time, 1 year and so on, so that the complete cycle is being complete there, right? So they exactly know what kind of products are being purchased in different months, during and post, as well as pre. So pre, during, and post, right? So with this, I can train my models just to predict who is getting into this particular category or not in next 2 months or next 1 month and so on. So they know very well without telling a new customer. So once the program is out and all those people who are getting into the system, they know it, whether what is the probability of this person to be a customer of this particular segment, right? Why they started? Because they are not visiting and this is a profitable segment. Okay. Problem is I am really willing to give you the discount for the high customer value, high value customers, but I do not know who will require it, right? So I build a based systems, and because of which I am able to do it, right? And that's how they have significantly improved on the performance of that particular store, right? I just wanted to share something which you can search also. This is not this. Oh, sorry. Okay, you can read yourself. Okay, and you can search over it. And this is a true story. Quite old, by the way. Okay. Fine. Now, this is a very good example of building a data-driven campaign. Very simple, right? Didn't use very sophisticated technologies, as someone has mentioned and all that. So some kind of video analysis or image analysis is now very easily available. Okay. Even that is not required once you are very much clear that what kind of data you want. Okay. And what kind of solutions you want. We also have a process which is called crisp DM process and all that. Okay. I will discuss that in coming sessions. And again, I will come back to this example just to how this actually fits into that particular framework and all that. So learning one, do not think that you put all the data and then you'll get something as a valuable output. You have to be very clear that what is your objective. And then for that objective, what kind of data you require. Maybe simple solutions may work for you. Okay. If you don't have clarity that what you wanted to capture from the data and how you're going to implement that particular outcome for your solution, then data might not be useful. And that is why same kind of data may be very useful for one kind of organization, not useful for other kind of organizations, right? So data-driven activities. Another example now, in this case, I would like to give example from Indian context, right? Again, I consider that example to be part of marketing and sales itself, right? Have you heard about a company called Bajaj Finserv? Yes, very much. What is this company? What this company does?
Financial products, loans,
Financial solutions and
So
loans.
they
and
basically provide the loans, right? Okay, what kind of loans? Secured, unsecured?
unsecured,
Unsecured loans, right?
majorly unsecured.
Majorly unsecured. Okay. But what if I ask, what is the capability of Bajaj Finserv?
Sorry, what?
What is the capability of Bajaj Finserv?
Capability in terms of?
So if I say there are a lot of people who are dispersing loans, a lot of companies, what is the core capability of Bajaj Finserv as such?
The ability to check credit ratings of the people. So they have an ML platform behind that is able to judge how likely is a person going to pay.
Judge, right? Correct. So they know whom to give loan because these are unsecured loans, right? Even if they secure, it doesn't matter because most of the loans are for consumer electronics, which doesn't have any value out of 6 months or 1 year and so on.
Yes.
So there's no point of
Depreciating
securing and all that for at least for the products, right? So they know whom to give loan. They also know how much loan has to be given. Okay. And they also know the risk, and because of which they vary the interest rate. Okay. And because of them, there's a lot of upselling happens. Okay. So somebody who can afford 32-inch TV, because of support given by Finserv, they are going to buy 55-inch TV. So they know how much I should push, 32-inch to 42 or 55, based on the risk level. And the risk is being compensated on the basis of the interest rate, which is being charged. And there's a lot of variation of the interest rate. Okay. So they do not do everything standard in terms of this much interest rate. This interest rate varies like anything, based on which kind of product, based on which kind of customer, right? Any idea how much the interest rate they charge?
14%.
14%?
36% per annum.
Okay.
It varies profile to profile.
Okay. Varies, but some range, right? So I would say, okay, around 12% to 20% or something like this. A rough this thing. Now, who give them loan? How they give the loan? They should get money from someone. So who fund them? From where they get money?
Credit card.
How?
These are financial products.
Financial institutions, NBFCs, banks, they fund this kind of companies, right? Okay. And how much they charge? So they may be charging 6%, 8% to them. Okay. So if you look at the banking ka interest ka business, banks ka, so they mostly work on 2 to 2.5% of the margin, right? So they give interest of 7%, 6.5%, and they charge 8.5, 9, or something like this, 2.5 or 3%, you can say. Okay. Now, why banks directly offer the loan to customers like this? So 15%, 18%, 20%.
Because of RBI regulations.
One is, say, regulation, but it's not only the regulation. First, they don't have this infrastructure through which they can scale up the micro loaning and all that. You have to do digitally with that kind of infrastructure. Second, they don't have this kind of data visibility through the data. Now, Bajaj Finserv is doing the business even when the digital systems were not that much, I would say, scaled up. Okay, they were taking initially the post-dated checks and all that, but they have built their data. So the kind of profile they have and the kind of risk analysis they can do with respect to the customers they have, that is unmatched, unparalleled, and that is very much visible from their company performance, right? Okay, both in terms of their profit as well as in terms of their valuation. Okay, So data-driven thing. So because of the data-driven activities, they can scale up. Okay. Because of the data-driven thing, they can outperform the competitors in terms of what kind of profile they can maintain with their customers and all that. Okay. And they can charge significant amount of premium. Okay. I'm getting at 7% and I'm lending at 15%, 20%. What best you can get more than that, right? So someone who is giving you money is earning 2%. You are earning 10%, right? And that is the capability and power of digital platforms plus data altogether. And you can see all those companies who are doing good in digital platforms and data, they are making a lot of money. Okay. So scaling up. Just think about a lot of fintech companies which are here. Most of the fintechs are actually the lending platforms. What is their model? They do micro loaning. 5,000 rupee you take at the end of this month, say 28th of the month, and next month maybe by 15th of mid of the month, 15th is the date, you give me back 5,250 rupees, right? To the person who is taking the loan, it is only 250 rupees, but look at the percentage. How much? 5% per month. Okay, that means 5 into 12, 60% per year. They just need to find, say, 1 lakh such people who are willing to take only 5,000 ka loan. Okay, and those who will not default, because 5,000 is not a very big amount, and they just need to find out person who, for them, 5,000 is not a very big amount and so on. Okay, or they have to do 2,000. That is also fine because scaling up is possible. This is all being done because of the data. So this is the power of data. Data uncouples, right? You can decouple the things. Okay, you can scale up and you can profile it properly. And profiling helps you in terms of gaining the additional benefits. Credit card companies, they wanted to give you credit cards. They want people to spend. But the problem with why they do all those kind of analysis, because they want people not to default in general. Okay. And why? Because if they default, then their money is being stuck. If they do, people do not pay back. So the thing is, nobody will admit in front that I'm going to default or I will not pay back. Okay, everyone say, okay, I will pay back. But it is the responsibility of them or these people to verify with data or with some other process whether this person is going to pay back or not, right? And all this modeling is being done on the basis of some parameters which are being highlighted as a part of the financial risk management process, and that are being captured with the help of the data-driven things and all that. So you have a couple of examples, right? Fine. So, so I think enough of the context building and all that. Let's get into some of the technique side also, right? Because that is the primary purpose, or I would say the focus of this course. So let me share my screen. Whatever slides I will use, that I will share with you in the email. Okay? So you can focus on my slides here itself. I will share the slides. Where is my PPT? Here. And then this is, yeah. Okay. So very brief, not too much in terms of technical details, but you should know this, right? Okay. So what kind of different kind of machine learning we have? And anyways, this will be required when we are going to analyze our case and all that. What are different kinds of machine learning? You know what is machine learning? Learning from the data is kind of machine learning, right? So machine is nothing but the set of codes which you write or set of algorithms which you write is kind of machine, and it actually learns from the data. A fundamental assumption is that data is actually representing the context and data is having a significant amount of quality, right? So that is the assumption. So because if the data is not good, garbage in, garbage out, right? So you have to ensure the data which you are feeding is correct. Okay. Now, on the basis of the kind of application or usage perspective, you can say the machine learning could be classified into these three categories. One is descriptive, right? another is predictive, and the third one is prescriptive. I will just explain it. Descriptive is where you just try to find out the hidden or underlying patterns that exist, right, in the data. Okay. So for descriptive, I think clustering or grouping is a very good example. And you do group many times. Grouping is a very fundamental, I would say, the use technique, right? And you wanted to group who are my good customers, who are my bad customers, grouping, right? The grouping of customers on the basis of their customer lifetime value and so on. So, which stocks move together? This is a group, right? So I know, okay, these 5 indices move together, or these 2 indices move together, or these 5 stocks move together, and so on, right? There's a relationship. Second is predictive, where you predict some value. Okay. So whether the customer will default or not, that's predictive. Should I give him loan or not? Yes or no, predictive. Okay. Then, what is the value of this stock tomorrow? Predictive. Okay, is going to increase plus or decrease minus, prediction, right? Whether it's going to increase tomorrow or decrease tomorrow. Knowing itself this much amount of thing is quite useful, because you can either go for long or short, or you can do option trading and all that, which I do not recommend anyways. That's not the purpose of this course, right? Example, right? So prediction is nothing but giving a value to something. Now, what is prescriptive? Prescriptive is more on the solution oriented approach, that based on the kind of pattern and prediction you have made, what is the prescription coming from your side? That means the action kind of thing, that what kind of things you can take it forward. What is the action, suggested action? So this is more on the action side, right? Now, let me tell you why it is important to actually read the data in right sense with the context. Okay, because sometimes you read the data thinking that this is the right reading, but it might give you a different prescription. And let me give you example from one of my kind of project which we were involved in. Say you have this police vehicles, right? 100. Okay. Now, vehicles are obviously limited and they have to cover the area, right? So that, the crimes should be, minimized and so on. That is the primary purpose. So they also wanted to do some kind of analysis in terms of where to place the vehicles on dynamic basis, so that their guaranteed response time can be achieved. That means if they guarantee that my response time in cities is 2 minutes, within 2 minutes you will get a vehicle. Okay. And maybe in rural area, 5 minutes, within 5 minutes, you will get the vehicle with the policeman and all that, right? So how to prescribe in terms of where to route the vehicle on dynamic basis? This is important. And how many vehicles to be given in different areas. So obviously you have a descriptive analysis that, okay, you group the kind of activities that has happened in different areas. So on the basis of the area, you group the kind of crimes. Okay. Which kind of crimes will be happening repeatedly? What is the frequency? Which kind of crimes will require more vehicles? Which kind of crime will require less vehicle? Okay. Then you have some kind of description. That means you have some value setting in the context, that the context. You have done some kind of descriptive analysis and all that. The next is prediction. Okay. That based on your description and all that, you identified the probability of happening such kind of crime. So, or maybe the frequency of happening on this area, this kind of crime will happen this many times and so on. And then based on these two, you have prescribed. Okay, this is on operations, right? That if objective is to reach in 2 minutes, then for this kind of frequency and with this many vehicles, where should I route it? Okay, and where should I place it? Fine. So this is there is all three, right? This is something which try to practice as a part of some project and all that. But interestingly, how you will decide the vehicles should be placed or not? So somewhere you need to read between the lines. Okay, and that's why the descriptive is very much important, that the reason for which you are doing it. Okay. Now, if someplace, if the crime instances are less, okay, what will be your, kind of suggestion in terms of putting the vehicles? You should have more vehicles or less vehicles? Or should you remove the vehicles from there so that you can serve to other locations?
Less vehicles.
Less vehicles, okay. This looks obvious, okay. And but
there were
there's a
less
problem.
crimes because of more vehicles present previously. That's why there were lower crimes there.
That's one. So unless until you do the backend validation, very good point, right? So you are only seeing the outcome, but you're not seeing the basis of that outcome. So maybe because of the presence of the vehicle, the instances are not happening. So who will correct this? Okay, this is being taken care as a part of descriptive, right? When you get to know the pattern that initially the vehicles were less, crimes were high. When you put the vehicles, crimes are low. That clear description is there that because of the significant presence of the vehicles, crimes are coming down. So the moment you remove it on the basis of the prediction, okay, that because you have less crime, you will require less vehicle. So you remove it, then it actually breaches the fundamental issue which is there, having presence of the vehicle to reduce crime, right? So you have to always read between the lines, okay? You cannot just jump off, okay? So maybe a customer is using less number of times your primary service. That does not mean you get away with the primary service or you are not making profit from your primary service. That does not mean cut off that primary service. You do not know that is a primary or that is the main reason for you to customer to be there with you. Though it is he is using more on the secondary service or tertiary services, and those are more profitable. But the relationship is there because of the primary service. Right? So you have to be careful for that. Good example could be you have all of you are having mobile phone. Now most of us are using more on the data side. Data services compared to voice services. So can you afford to have a low quality voice service? Because low quality means when you see, okay, many times, it's not possible to have speak properly through voice, okay, through your cellular network, or many times you do not get cellular network, tower and all that. Despite you have significant improvements or, I would say performance in the data services. No, because sometimes when he's actually making call, very less number of times, he expects that call go through. And even today you can see significant number of people decide on going for a particular kind of mobile operator based on the performance of the voice services, because that happens to be a very important service. When somebody is making a voice call, that means he's actually uh, doing some very important task and all that, right? So just on the basis of front end, you cannot decide how much which service to be there and which service to be discontinued. You have to always go back to the root cause, right? So read the data, but read the full data. Do not jump off just because you have some kind of data. Maybe it's just a aberration, not the real reason. Okay, is it fine? So I hope it is clear what is predictive, what is descriptive, and what is prescriptive. Any comment, any doubt? Okay, so next one is, so we have already talked about the use cases also, right? The next one is, on the basis of the learning perspective. So what we have done, okay, I have to share the slides now. What I have described is on the basis of the usage perspective, how users are using it. The next I would like to talk on the basis of, say, I would say, you can see my screen?
Yes.
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 So on the basis of learning perspective, that how machine learns, right? So when somebody asks you that what are the different kinds of machine learning or AI or something, so you have to be clear that on what basis you are going to represent. This is one classification. Another is on the basis of how learning actually happens, right? Fine. So we have again something called supervised learning. Okay. So supervised learning is nothing but when your data is labeled. That means you have the class information anyways. Okay, I will just explain all of it, right? Example could be where you already have data about the class. Okay, say somebody is coming for the bank loan. Okay, and you wanted to predict whether he is going to be a good customer or not, right? So how you have learned? You have past data where you have the customer attributes, okay, and the rating of that customer, whether he was a good or bad customer. So you will learn from this over a period of time. Okay, so how the learning is happening? Because of the class level, there's a guiding framework. Okay, so for each of the combination, you have checked whether he's a good customer or not, and so this the rating or the class level is a kind of I would say uh, uh, particular data point which helps you to learn based on the outcome, which is good or bad. So this is called supervision, right? So the class attribute, which is your actually the business outcome, expected business outcome, is supervising you to learn, right? So the learning rule is clear that you have to learn whether he's a good customer or bad customer, bad customer, and so on. So all combinations you have with respect to variations in the attributes level, and then what is the outcome. So what kind of attributes will have? You'll have something like customer age, income, marital status, then which city he's living, whether he's having any other loan or not, whether he's a government employee or private employee, right? And so many others which you have to identify and so on. Okay, so this is supervised learning, where it is being supervised based on the data level, right? Second is called unsupervised. So unsupervised is nothing but you understand the this is not learning, this is learning, by the way. Okay, you try to understand the patterns. There is no label data, right? So I would say the clustering grouping. Okay, so you get a set of people, you wanted to group them on the basis of, say, their height, right, or on the basis of their income. So there is no supervision as such, but you group on the basis of the range of those values and all that. So grouping or clustering is an example of unsupervised, where the data doesn't have the label in terms of the business outcome. Okay. And the third one is, I will come to all of them in detail also, don't worry if you have any confusion and all that. Third one is called reinforcement learning. Right now, this reinforcement you might have heard about. This is the new thing which is happening, right? Reinforcement learning is nothing but where you are learning from the environment slowly. Okay, so you perform some action and then you see whether the feedback is positive or negative. If the feedback is negative, that means you have to work in reverse direction. If positive, you have to work in the same direction, right? So from the environment on continuous basis, you learn. So the new methods which are very popular nowadays, say your especially RNN, CNN, all those you have heard about it. This kind of methods follow this kind of philosophy. You reinforce means you try to get feedback from the system environment and then you correct it, right? So let me give you a very good example of reinforcement learning. You, for example, in your office, you do some activity, right? Now, how that is being rated by your boss, positive or negative? Based on that, if it is positive, you try to do the same activity again, similar kind of activity again. If you get a negative feedback, you try to minimize it. So over a period of time, you have learned how your boss thinks just by the reinforcement. This is reinforcement. And reinforcement actually happens in our mind. Okay, how a child learns to walk. Have you ever noticed? He tries it out and then initially he just shivered, but sometimes fall down. Okay, but there is a learning from the environment. When he's not able to balance, he's getting learning from the environment. Okay, when he's not doing correct, he's getting learning from the environment and so on. So slowly over a period of time, he learns based on the small input he is getting every day and so on. Okay. Do you recall how did you learn to cycle? Right, when you started learning cycling, you are very much, I would say, um, uh, concerned, and you hold the handle very tightly, and whenever the cycle is going this way, you are doing that way and something like this. But it took time, right? Over a period of time, you learned it, getting input from the environment. Okay, now after you learn, you can easily ride the cycle, right? Even no need to, hold that particular handle very tightly. Or sometimes people also do with one hand talking to phone, and some people are so experienced and good, they ride without holding the handle, right? That is reinforcement. Okay. So machine learning again primarily can be classified into these three categories. I'm not saying these are the only three categories. People will come up with different categories, but this will be some kind of slicing of these fundamental categories only, right? So one is supervised, where you have the labeled data with respect to the business outcome. Okay, so you know the combination of things you have done, and then you learn. Okay, it is good customer or bad. Then you have unsupervised, where with respect to the business outcome, there's no labeled data, but with respect to some important attributes, you wanted to group it. You wanted to find inherent patterns, right? So example could be again, which stocks are moving together. Okay, or which set of people or which set of customers should be placed in this particular group, or cluster and so on. High value, low value, or high prospective customer, low prospective customers, and all that. Okay, and the third one is reinforcement, where you continuously learn from the environment. Now, the moment you say you have to continuously learn from the environment, so this will be more data-rich system. So most of the AI system which you are seeing right now is using reinforcement, because there's a continuous input from the environment, right? And that is why it requires a lot of data over a period of time. Is it okay? Fine. So self-driving cars are using, reinforcement, right, over a period of time. Whenever they're driving correctly or not, they get it the feedback. Okay. So I've already described what is, reinforcement learning. This is there for, your reference and all that, right? Fine. Now, we have artificial intelligence, right? What is artificial intelligence? How is it different from machine learning? Yes, please. So as the name says, this is a philosophy, by the way. This is an umbrella of set of activities. We have human intelligence, right? And then if you wanted to mimic the same intelligence with the machines, it is artificial. So it is having the intelligence, but this is coming from the machines. That is called artificial intelligence. So we want the way we learn, machine should also learn. The way we respond, machine should also respond. The way we take corrective actions, machine should also take it, right? So this is artificial intelligence and all. We'll talk about that in detail. But can actually machine respond the way humans are doing? And how they can do it? And do we really want to have this?
Yes,
Couple
we
of
already,
questions. Whichever you want, you can pick it up.
yeah, we already have the ChatGPT and other LLMs which can answer questions as humans.
So you
And
have a lot of queries, you just pose them and they will respond.
correct.
Okay. Okay. Whether this kind of AI system is useful for some marketing activities?
Yeah, definitely. We use it every day for
Yes.
customer communication, for creating SMS, for emails and everything.
But there are problems also, right?
Yes, you have to monitor what they are giving the output as.
So many times, I mean, one of my kind of friend was telling this that many times it is being seen that the content is too much, but it's not relevant because nobody has properly curated that with respect to the given context, right? Fine. Anyways, we'll come to that later. So AI is an umbrella of techniques which do perform tasks which has to be performed by humans, similar kind of thing, right? And so on. Okay, so let us get into again some kind of description that what AI, what are the different kind of learning that happens in the AI, because learning is important. You can have intelligence only if the learning is there, right? So learning is important. So one learning paradigm for artificial intelligence is machine learning itself. So this is the relationship, right? Machine learning are those kind of techniques which helps to learn from the data, right? And once the data is being learned and the models are being created, this will be a feeder system to AI. Most of the AI which we are seeing right now is actually having this only. And that is why machine learning has become very important to learn. But the type of learning has changed. Now we have something called deep learning. Okay. So what is deep learning? What is that? Why we use this particular term called deep learning? Okay. First of all, deep learning is a kind of subset of machine learning, where you can decode this deep thing in two ways. One is from the application side. So when your data is, say, image data, right, or a very complex data stream, where the learning requirement is very huge, the pattern is not very simple. So you have to go technically, okay, you have relationship between input and output, which is not a linear relationship, rather a very complex, surface is being fixed. Okay. So here the learning requirement is very huge, and that's why the deep can be justified. That's why you have to learn a lot. Okay. And that's why you require a lot of data points, really a lot of parameters which will be tuned. Okay. But in reality, the deep thing is coming because of the technical reason, which is called how many layers are there in your neural network. So especially for the neural networks and all, the deep learning term has been come up. Okay, because they can learn very complex relationship between input and output, right? And model is nothing but which fix the relationship between input and output. So more number of layers means more deep the solution is, right? Fine. So coming to the third regime of learning, paradigm of learning in context of AI is, which we already discussed, is called reinforcement learning, right? So you continuously learn from the environment, not only from the data, right? So again, this is one classification of AI. And this classification is based on the learning paradigm, right? How the system learns. Fine. Okay. Now, next is based on the functionality, right? What do I mean by AI with respect to the functionality? Okay. Is this. We have reactive machines. Fine. What are the reactive machines which perform some task, right? I will give examples, don't worry. But let me just put it out here. We'll take a break. After that, we'll come back to cover it further. So we have three systems again based on the type of activities we perform. So if it is a reactive system, okay, or it is having something called limited memory, or we have theory of mind. I will describe all of this, right? Okay. So what we'll do, let's take a break for 15 minutes, right? In this 15 minutes, you people can talk to each other if you wish. I am not listening. Okay. But I will come back after 15 minutes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not listening, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Hi. We're back again.
Yeah.
Fine. So before we move forward, I just wanted to give you a glimpse of how these things work. So let's try a little bit of hands-on, which is very simple to do, right? Initially, I thought I will do something which is a little coding. So then I realized it is difficult to do and all that. So, but it is very interesting to do it with a website which I mentioned, and you will be able to learn and play also, right? So this website is called just there's something called Teachable Machine. I will give you the link, huh? Here, Teachable Machines. This is from Google. Okay. I mean, many of these organizations are giving a platform to learn, right? So Teachable Machines. I mean, purpose of this is just to understand how system learn and all that. Okay. It is quite capable despite being very free and user friendly. You got this one? Okay, just click this link and I can show you how this will happen. Yeah, so do you have any question?
Hi, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I just wanted to understand, like, we have studied about different kind of model, like AI models, deep learning models, and this deep learning models and machine learning models. I
Correct.
wanted to just understand, like, what do we actually mean by these models, sir? A very basic question. I just wanted to
Acha,
learn, like.
so you have input, you have some outputs. Input may have data set, output may have some business outcomes. Okay, so what is the relationship between input and output? That is your objective, so that you can always predict something. Okay, so the relationship is nothing but that model. Okay, now how you learn, okay, that is coming in the machine learning. That one way of finding the relationship is somebody tells you, okay, this is the input and this is the output and this is the function. Okay, for example, if I say uh, you know uh, example could be a regression may what is that line. So regression line is nothing but the relationship between input and output. Okay, so regression line is a model which is just depicting the relationship between input and output. Okay, we can also say this is a function. So f of something. So relationship between input and output is a model. For very simple, in simple words. Now, how you get that relationship is the learning paradigm. So in machine learning, you try to approximate. Okay, so what relationship exactly exists between input and output? Okay, so again, in case of regression, if you have done it, we try to fit a line, which is curve fitting basically. We have the distribution of, if I show you, this is specifics and very fundamental. So let me try to explain this. Just hold on, huh? So that I can show you. So let me have one more slide here. And so you see this one, and it's a slide and all that. Yeah. So just look at. So I have this one. Just a second to pick the pen first. Can you see this one?
Yes,
So
sir.
I have so this is not working properly. So just give me 1 minute, okay?
Sir, I was actually thinking model to be the interface, just like ChatGPT is the one, like Gemini is the
No,
one.
I will come to all that model. That is not actually model, that is a system, right? Just give me 1 second. I am just doing this. My mouse was not responding. So just change something. So just give me 1 second, right? I hope this will work now. Now it's working, I think. Okay. Oh, yeah, nice working. So I have this here, which is nothing but say uh, uh, this interface where I have multiple data points. So I will say this is my X, sorry, this is my Y, and this is my X, right? So what I will do is I will try to fit a line between them. So there could be multiple lines that can be fitted, right? So which one is the best line? Okay, this line is giving the relationship between input and output. So I will say this line is nothing but function fx, which is some relationship between input and output, y is equal to fx. So when I say model, this is my model, the relationship. Now, how to learn this model? With the help of, say, curve fitting in this case. I have fitted multiple lines and I have tried to learn from it, right? So this is called model. Now, what you are saying is, as a name, in the name of model is nothing but a system which performs some task, right? So each system will have a model or set of models which are tuned for some kind of task. Okay, is it okay? Somehow my mouse is not responding. What to do? Phew. Okay, so I hope I have clarified something. Okay, so pattern is something which is being used to identify the relationship between input and output. Once we are clear about that relationship is called the model. The model could be simple or could be complex. Now, ChatGPT is a system which performs a task that, okay, you give some query, it will respond back. At the back end, it is running a model which has already identified the relationship between input and output. Okay, and they primarily use transformer models and all that. Okay, and based on your query, they will perform some output. Will they give some output, and which is the output of your query? Okay, so learning is happening to identify the model. That means relationship between input and output. Is it okay? Okay, fine. Going to this teachable machine. How many of you have just checked it out? So simple. Okay, I will show it to you. This is website. I hope you have clicked that website.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Teachable.
Yes, sir.
How? Yeah. So let me now share this one. Okay, can you see the video or something here in this one, in the first page itself? So I would like to play this video itself. Only thing is somehow my mouse is not responding. What happened? Signal of closing the day or what?
So restart your computer.
I will restart. That's a
Easy, sir.
final one,
But on the link, sir, there is no video as such. When we click on get started, it leads to a project page where is image project, audio project, post project.
now you can see my screen.
Yes.
Finally, teachable machine, and basically it helps you to understand how the learning happens, right? This is the video. Okay, can you see this one in the first page itself? Okay, so let me just show you, and then you can do it, because I cannot share my cam with two applications, right? So if I am doing my Zoom class, then I cannot share you how I'm working here and all that, right? So just see this video, and I hope you can you listen to the voice?
No, sir.
Just a second. Share computer sign. Okay. I hope you can.
People are training computers.
Okay, better?
And creating machine learning models to explore.
Is it okay?
Yes.
The voice part.
Yes.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
People are training computers and creating machine learning models to explore all kinds of new ideas. New ways to interact.
Yes.
To understand the world. To play. And experiment. But machine learning is pretty intimidating to get into. So we've been wondering, what if it wasn't? With Teachable Machine, we set out to make it easier for anyone to create machine learning models without needing to write any machine learning code. When it first launched in 2017, it allowed everyone to get a feeling for what machine learning is all about. But now, Teachable Machine puts the power of machine learning in your hands, allowing you to save your models and use them in your own projects.
So let's say you want to build a model to recognize you versus your dog. You just open up the site, record samples of you and samples of your dog. Click Train, and you instantly have your own machine learning model, which you can use in your sites, apps, and more. You can upload your model to host it online, or download it to work entirely on device.
With Teachable Machine, you can create custom models for all sorts of things. Using images, audio, or even poses. Personalized machine learning models for the things that matter to you. And folks have already been trying it out, using Teachable Machine in their own experiments, solving problems in their communities, or even just at home. Start creating and see where your ideas take you at g.co/teachable machine.
Okay, so my first question is, what did you see and what did you learn out of it? This is going to be very useful platform for many of you who doesn't understand any coding. That's okay. But if you understand your problem, you can use it. And I will show you a few more things, okay, as a part of this particular platform. I found it to be very useful. One is you do not need to have any knowledge of coding as such, okay? But if you just identify what you want to have as outcome. For example, the illustration they're given is you want to build a model which can detect something between, say, person X and person Y. Okay, so you train for person X. You have to give the samples of person X. That means image, if it is image model, and samples of person 2. Okay, and then you learn, the model will learn, and then person will be identified. You have seen that. when the dog is coming, the door is opening. Okay, because dog is being identified as yes or in, and all those who are not part of that particular learning, they are not being allowed to enter, right? So all those kind of systems, which security systems or those kind of system which identifies the objects, part of it. Okay, you can also learn from the image, you can learn from the audio also. So if you want your doors to be open on voice 1 versus voice 2, so you just train for voice 1 or voice 2, so accordingly this will behave. You can also do for video learning. So pose is nothing but the video. So first of all, this platform you can use for all three. Your image, your voice, and your video. Right? You need not to do any coding. You have to just provide the samples. Right? And just think about what all applications you can generate out of it. Okay? Only thing which is required is please give me the data so that I can learn. And then I will train and you just test it out whether it's working fine or not. Right? Yes, Mr. Cliff, you have something?
Just had a question. So the teachable machine, it only seems to work with image, audio, and poses. Is there any example or any tool you have online that also works with data in a similar way? If we upload data and ask, they're trying to teach it.
You said that you want to give the data, right? See, why these people are giving image this thing and all that, because text data learning is not that difficult. I mean, you have very easily available free tools which learns from the text. Maybe not teachable machine directly, but very easily available free tools are available. Okay, and that are being used, where you feed the data, text data, and they will just understand the data in terms of column and rows, and they just predict. So that is very easy to do as such, right? And that is why the multimedia is the target for it.
So do you have examples of such tools that we could possibly use?
Yeah, I can send you. That's not a big thing. We have a couple of them. So right now, mostly people are using say Python packages, for example, scikit-learn and all that, which they can fetch it. Some of them are also there. I need to remember those names, which I use it. Then
So can we use like custom GPTs or projects
GPT,
inside ChatGPT to
that's the problem. The
build
way
our
you
own
got
data?
GPT, it's all about GPTs, but the GPTs is having something at the back end.
Yeah.
Right. So I am referring to those tools, right? For example, we have something called data miner, right? So data miner kind of tool will just you can use it and you can choose which algorithm you wanted to do, and so on. You have something called Google Studio, right? Google Stadia does that. We have something called Rapid Miner. Okay, so these kind of tools are already there and which people are using. There's one more tool I use, I forgot the name, very useful. Weka, right? WK. So we have Rapid Miner, we have Google Studio, right? These are very easily available tools, right? Google Studio, then we have Weka and all that. These are the tools which they easily take. So by default, everyone takes text, right? So the problem was with what? With this image and multimedia data. And that is why they focus more on the multimedia. And then mostly people use packages like scikit-learn and all that, right? Which is third-party Python libraries and all that. Okay. I hope this is sufficient. 2-3 tools. It is Rapid Miner, not Mimer, huh? Rapid Miner. And there are a few more. I actually not recalling their name, but there are a couple of more. You can just simply do a simple Google search and all that. Okay. So would you like to practice this? I will show you how to do it again. Anyways, you have seen that how to do it in the video, but still I wanted to show you here. Just a second. Exit. So if you see this screen, where is the teachable machine? Yeah. So what you have to do is, everyone, please look at here. What is the strength of this batch? 50. Any idea?
It's a 54, I think.
Yes,
54 or
roughly 50.
56.
Okay. So you go to this one, get started, huh?
Okay.
Fine. Then I will go with the image project because that's something which I can easily upload. So in fact, this is linked to your Google account. If you wish, you can do that. So you can always get the model from the drive if you have, but you don't have as of now. Okay. Image project. So standard one. Okay. You can just go for it. Can you see this one? All of you, please do with me, right? So you just connect, click all this. So if you look at here, it gives two class. So I would like to show you the, illustrate what is classification or, supervised learning. Can you see this one? So you can upload the images. If you have multiple images, you can go and sample images, you can upload. Okay. Or you can also use your webcam to capture the image. Fine. So if I click this one, it will ask for, if after that it will say, okay, hold. If you press hold, then it will start capturing. Okay. But I cannot do it because this camera is already being used here. Okay. So then I need to have another camera. If I have, then I can show that, but that is difficult. So, but we have seen in the video. Okay. Just go for the webcam and then you can start capturing and so on. Okay. Before that, you can see class 1. So you can give any name. So you can give the name. So this is editable. For example, you can give your name and your pet's names, right? Whatever class 1, class 2, or apple or oranges, whatever is. You can also have multiple classes if you have 3 or 4. Okay, by default 2, but if you want to add, you can add it. Is it fine? Okay, then you just run this one, but mine is error. The error is opening in your webcam. Make sure permissions are enabled. So already my webcam is used here. So let me just see if I can undo. It still doesn't work actually. My webcam is being used. Now it is, if I stop my webcam, it is showing. Okay. So what I did is basically I have just connected to check that webcam wala option, and now I am there's an option called hold to record. Okay, I just click it. It is capturing multiple images. Okay, it is capture my multiple images. After that, I went to, hope you are listening. After that, I went to this one, the second class, and again I have checked for webcam, and I am showing my bottle. Okay, instead of my image, I am showing my bottle. I have just kept myself a little bit apart, far apart from the camera, and it is actually recording my bottle. Okay, now let me switch on the camera again. I think this will work. Can you see me now? No. Can you see my screen now?
No.
Virtual.
We can see you and the sample images.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what. This is my screen.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
screen
what
we
we
can
We
see.
can see, we can see.
And while I was explaining, did you see my screen?
Yeah,
Yes, we
you were
can.
showing the bottle going here and there, and which is
Yes.
got captured
That's
there.
fine. So I just switched off my camera at work. So you can see my screen, right? So what I did, I have simply, should I do it again? So this is how I have captured. You have seen it, right? No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
We've
we've
seen
seen
that.
it.
So I gave some samples of my photo and I have gave some samples of my bottle. So these are the two things, right? So it's like this. So if so then I have to train the model, right? So model training will happen. So this is being run, right? So model training is happening here. Fine. Now you can see whenever I'm sitting, you can see this is giving the outcome. So it is actually giving me the class 1. This is class 1 me. I could have renamed this class also. But if I keep myself out and just put my bottle, you can see this is class 2. Okay. So this is able to identify whether it's bottle or me. Bottle or me. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you are fine with the performance, which is coming at the down here, you can always export the model. Okay. So export model means what? You can see all those codes are written at the backend. So this is JavaScript code. This is p5.js is there. Okay. TensorFlow ka code is there. You have this Python ka code. You can see this one written. Fine. Okay. And TensorFlow Lite ka code. So there are multiple codes which they actually provide. Okay. And you can select with respect to all of them. Okay. And if you want, you can copy it directly. Okay. And you can work on it, right? So, and you can download this. For example, you do not want to copy the code, you simply want to download the model. What is model here? Somebody has asked model. Model is nothing but this description, which is relationship between input and output is the model. So you can say you wanted to save the model, you can save it, and you can download this model. You can download, and now this is a backend relationship between input and output, which you can superimpose anywhere, and you can modify also, because you have the piece of code. Based on your piece of code, you can always change uh, some kind of variations which you want. Is it okay? Now, without even doing a single line of code, you can understand how the learning is happening. You can also have the code which you can export, and further you can improvise on it. So some part which you wanted to do with this kind of thing, you learn like this, export it, and then minor modification you could do later and so on. Is it okay?
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So how could you use it practically? Let's assume you are able to now train the model to identify different images.
Yes.
Now, if I wanted to take this a step ahead, so now once it identifies the particular image, I wanted to do a particular task, let's say send an email or send a message. How or where could we actually program that in? I don't see these options on this system. So on what platform or what system can we do that on?
Come again, you wanted to do what?
So let's assume you have an image of a bottle, a picture of a mobile phone, and depending on what image it recognizes, right? You want to set a post action after the identification. So once it identifies this is a mobile, send an email to XYZ. Or if it identifies a bottle, send a message to ABC. So how do you set up the next steps in this?
Okay, so you have to first differentiate, or I would say bifurcate, the data mining task or learning task as well as workflow. So you have a workflow that based on the identification, you have to perform this task.
I think, Cliff, you're talking about the gestures that you see in the Android phones. So here, this model only recognizes the image and what it would stand. Like it would only identify gesture. This at least the side that Sir has been talking about. But the next step of connecting that image or gesture to an action, I don't think this system is able to do that. For that, you might have to program it separately.
Yeah, so you're correct. But what I'm trying to say is, I would like to express as a kind of workflow. When we talk about automation, in automation you already have the workflow, but many times based on the data, the workflow will change. I will give example, then I will connect, right? For example, when you go to airport, you put your luggage for the screening. Okay, nowadays all the big ones are having that auto rotating kind of security system, right? Where you just pick up the tray and put all the stuff, and then you just put it for the screening in that particular robe itself. What happens? You go to the other side, then your luggage comes. There is a decision point. Based on that, this system either throws your luggage to the lane where you can pick it up, or it sidelines. Okay, it just gives a small signal to shift to other side so that it goes for the checking. And what is this system? Somebody is actually highlighting a alarm that this particular system should be checked. I got your point. So this is a workflow. So what you can do is here maybe this image can be read with respect to 1 or 0. If it is 1, you have to give instruction to this workflow to put it in the side for manual inspection. okay, or for higher inspection. If it is 0, that means no alarm is being raised, so it will go here. So you have to identify that because of the evaluation of two different classes, what action you wanted to take. Okay, so I will help you in terms of learning from the data with respect to what outcome is there. Now, with respect to that outcome, what you have to do. Okay, another example. You want your door to open. Okay, you have a audio detectable door, right? So if you say open, it will open. If someone else says open, it will not open because it doesn't recognize it. Okay, so only the voice samples which are being trained, they are allowed. Others who are not being, so how the system will recognize? Tell me. It will say, okay, give me the multiple voice sample. That's it. Okay, so you train that when I am speaking, it should say yes. When my wife is speaking, it should open. But when my kid says open, it should not open because he will run away. Okay, he's just 3-year-old. So you for this 3-year-old voice sample, no. For my voice sample, yes. So I have 3 classes: me, wife, and kid. Open only if me and my wife says something. Else, do not do anything. So you have to think like this, that what data you want and how you want learning to happen, and then you have to connect to the workflow.
I think my question was more about the platform that will make these rules in, that would take these actions. Where would you build the workflow?
So see, then you are looking for the development of a system itself, right? So there are multiple platforms, but this is out of scope of this course, by the way. So nowadays people do use something called pipelines and all that. Okay, and mostly they use it as a part of their cloud platforms, AWS or Google ka, and or Azure and all that, where they connect multiple microservices. Each of them is doing some kind of task. Integration is happening through set of, say, pipelines or some kind of integrative platforms, right? And there are multiple options for that, right? But that is part of the system design, right?
Okay.
So when you try to learn system design with technical perspective, this will be more relevant for us. Still, I gave you the hint, right? How actually it happens. Okay.
Understood.
So most of the things are being automated, and data is actually automating. So this kind of data points are being learned. So this is what I wanted to tell, which I have mentioned the first session, that data learning happens and then you take it for real-time decision making. This is a real-time decision making for something which you have already fed it in. Okay. Now, if I have to talk about few more platforms, just because you have asked. Nowadays, there are a lot of chatbots which are come up, right? So in chatbots, you give some input, and based on that, they give you some options. Then you again give input, again some options, right? So one such platform which is primarily used is called Dialogflow. Okay, this is coming from again Google. Okay, Dialogflow. It's not free as such, but for up to when you are doing for testing and learning, it's free. But when you deploy production, then you have to pay it back. Dialogflow. Okay. Now Dialogflow can be connected to WhatsApp and other platforms also. So WhatsApp is another system. Dialogflow is where you put the logic. Okay, and then there are integrators through which you can connect both of them, the API based and all that. Same thing is done with something called Rasa. Rasa is again open source kind of thing, which again helps you to create the platform, end-to-end platform you can create with respect to the dialogue-based kind of workflow, where user is giving input, and based on the user input, you have multiple options to take. Then based on the option, again, the user will give some input, and then again, the system will give some other options and all that, right? So, I mean, these are some systems, but there are several. Now, again, what you want basically, you have various choices for that, right? I hope something I have answered. Okay.
Oh, yes, yeah. Thank you.
Let's come back here. So to the this one machine learning kind of thing. So let me start from the same slide, which I was showing to you. And this is, yeah, the type of artificial intelligence and all that. Let me share it again. I hope this will work here. Yeah. So we have deep learning, machine learning, reinforcement we already talked about. Next one is this one. Based on the functionality, right? So we have reactive machines. So which basically learns from the data, as the name suggests, reactive. So reactive machines will always require past data, and you should not expect too much from the reactive machines. It is more about the intelligent automation. Okay, but the automation is only with respect to those use cases for which the learning has happened. So they cannot be proactive, right? So I mean, I would say the capacity to take subjective call or the capability to take subjective call in this kind of system is very low. I will give examples, right? Don't worry. Then, some examples is just say, for example, rule driven, right? So this is primarily on the rule driven. So you have some kind of spam ka rules. Okay. Then IBM Deep Blue, if you have heard about it, several years back, where there's a news that the IBM computer has actually defeated Gary Kasparov at that point of time. So this was actually a reactive machine. So what they did is put all possible combinations in terms of playing chess and all that, and from that they have learned what is the next best kind of move, so that the probability of winning is higher and something like that. Okay, so I need to have all data with respect to all possible combinations and all that, right? The second one is the second system is called limited memory AI. So this is actually real AI we are talking about. So it actually uses past data, but it is also adaptable to in the environment. That okay, it can do some kind of proactive active things also, right? So we have something from the environment which is coming as a part of maybe reinforcement. Okay, and we also have some kind of rule from the past data, right? And self-driving car, is a good example for the limited memory and all that. Okay, and then we have something called theory of mind. Now, theory of mind is more like of a human kind of intelligence, where human can actually respond even if the learning is not being done. Okay, so before we get into, let me just give you a brief of what do you understand in terms of AI capabilities, right? So machines are good in doing repetitive jobs. Humans are doing on something. So there's something called human intelligence. What do you understand by human intelligence in terms of capabilities? What capability we have which is not there with the machines?
Emotional recognition.
Emotion, correct? So we have something called emotion. Okay, what else? Do you really want machines to be emotional?
No.
Okay, the
More-
You cannot capture sentiment.
happening based on the technology capabilities. Yes, next one. What else? What else is there with the humans which is not there with the machines by default?
Common sense.
Thinking capacities, because
Thinking.
machine will think only what we train them to.
Okay, so thinking, independent thinking, right? So
Yeah.
thinking. Okay.
From a negative aspect, biasness.
Huh?
Humans have a biasness or maybe a preference, stereotyping.
Subjectivity, right? Fine. So do you really want machines to be biased?
No.
Or subjective? Then why you want AI then? And then new AI is coming, agentic AI is coming, right?
What is that?
Agentic AI, you have heard about this term, right?
Agentic AI. Okay.
AI agents or agentic AI or something like that. Okay. So this is, I would not have to describe this here because we have to reach to some level, then we can talk about it. But you can just think about this is more dynamic, right? And having higher capability of, the learning and so on. Okay, so let me describe, right? What do we understand by AI in terms of capabilities, or what is intelligence? Okay, so If we talk about intelligence, I think there are three things which are very specific to us, which is not there with the machine. One is we have ad hoc response capability. What is ad hoc response? That's something for which we have not planned, something for which we are not being trained for, still will respond or respond based on our logical thinking process, connecting the dots. Ad hoc response. Okay, that means just think like this: we are sitting here, and suddenly something happens. We'll do something. Okay, for example, you are sitting at your place, and suddenly one lizard just come to close to your laptop. You do something. It's not planned. Okay, based on some logical thinking process, you'll respond. Okay, we are very good at it. Okay, machines are not very good at it. Okay, I will give examples also that why we have this kind of shortcomings and all that. Second is we have something called self-learning capacity or capability, or this is also called learning from the environment. Okay, we learn by default, right? Without even knowing that we are learning, we are actually learning. Self-learning capability. Okay. So what is self-learning? That and we can see, right? And that is there too much. Just think about class 3 students, class 3 students. Okay. One comes in the classroom. She is very strict. They will behave in one manner. Teacher 2 in the classroom. She is very liberal. They will behave in another manner. What is this? They have learned to respond in a different set of environments. Yes, Anmol, you have something?
So, but isn't this what agentic AI is doing now? They are trying to think more autonomously and solve problems without.
Yeah, purposefully, I'm not bringing it too much because I've not gone to that level. But what we are trying to do, so agentic AI are more on the implementation side. Okay, so what we have conceptualized, this is kind of implementation. That's why I said this is more dynamic and high-end AI, because whichever we have conceptualized, now agents can do that. Okay, so they have intelligence and which they can use to do all this kind of activities, right? Third capability which we have, which is not there with the machines by default, cognitive capability. So all your emotion, subjectivity, right, belief system, biasness is coming under that, right? So cognitive capability, right? Now, which one we want to be there with the machines, which one we do not? So machines are by default not emotion. They don't have emotion, right? So what is that emotional thing or what is cognitive capability? Subjectivity. So today I am happy if you come to me for the leave, I will approve. Tomorrow you will come to me, I will not approve. Or Harshal is coming, I am approving. Anmol is coming, I'm not approving. Subjectivity. Okay. So that is also kind of bias. Machines
Sir,
are not.
Yeah, sir, one question I have. What about sentiment analysis?
So sentiment analysis is one kind of activity which is being performed to identify the dominant, I would say, emotion, or which is called sentiment present in a text, right? Or in any of the data, right? So whether this is supportive, not supportive, happy or sad or something like that. So you have some 18 or 19 emotions. You can search for it. Go emotions. Google has identified multiple emotions, right? Go emotions. GOEMOTIONS, right? Go emotions, right? So sentiment analysis is an activity which is being performed. What is the dominant emotion that is flowing through this set of data? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, sir, if for this sentiment analysis, if we were to take an example between the what do you call it, the traditional AI versus the agentic AI, traditional AI would only tag it to a rave rant kind of a commenting, whereas the agentic AI will not only tag it, but also execute and do the next steps basis what we would have trained that agentic AI to be.
See, because this agentic AI is coming again. So let me just brief it. Agentic AI is nothing but kind of automation of AI itself. Okay. So earlier you had the humans who are doing the AI learning. Now AI itself can learn for itself. That's one. Second, because AI, when the system is learning itself, they have higher capability to learn compared to when human is helping them to learn. Right? So they are the agents which will do lot of AI tasks. Fine. Is as simple as it is. Fine. So it is traditional, non-traditional, but I would say the capability wise, earlier AI was dependent on our data, past data, that is reactive AI, okay, which has limited capacity. Why? Because whatever data is being fed, they can have intelligence from that data itself. Second one was some kind of input, continuous input from a specific environment. So I have past data, plus I also have some input from the environment through which I am learning over a period of time. It is more versatile. And the third one is which is human-like or super AI, which has human-like capabilities. Okay, but humans are not good in terms of scale. Okay, capability means what? I can also compute, right, manually, but I don't have a scale. I cannot do it that speed. So the super AI will be having speed also. It will having the capability of machine and capability of humans both, right? Which is under development as such. Fine. So coming back to the three capabilities which I have identified, which makes humans different from machines. Over a period of time, different AI systems will try to achieve it. How to achieve it? One is through human intervention. Second is with the help of self-created agents or human-created agents itself, right? Now, what I am saying is why machines are objective and humans are subjective. See, suppose your fan is running, right? Now, I mean, if someone puts his finger inside the fan will cut. It's very much objective. Doesn't matter whether you are happy or not. Fan will cut, right? So that's why we need to bring some kind of intelligence to the system so that it gets some signal. Okay. So how that's, input has been created. So we have a lot of initial examples. Just think like think of a washing machine. Earlier, if you have a washing machine and if you put your clothes, whether there's water or not, it will run. Right. Now, obviously, if there's no water and machine is running, it will just store away that clothes. Now, the new machines are having sensors. So if there's no water, it will not run. This is what intelligence. That, okay, I know that I have to run only if the water is adequate. This is intelligence, right? Now, how that intelligence is being achieved? In this case, intelligence has been seeded by the human because they know the rule is that you should not run the machine when water is not there, right? So I would say this is more on the reactive side. This is a rule based. This is the rule, right? So spam filtering is a rule based. So this is what I'm saying, that I, on the basis of my understanding or my data driven activity, I have given him some rule, and the machine is intelligent enough to identify those scenarios, and then based on the rule given, it will perform the task. But this is a lower level of AI and so on. Okay, fine. Let's get into a few more examples. When we talk about, say, airplanes, so airplanes are having autopilots, right? So duration wise, I think autopilots are significantly utilized, right? The pilot is involved actively during the takeoff and landing, and then if there's some turbulence. Now, can this autopilot take care of some kind of emergency situations like landing on top of water body the engine is not performing? Obviously, no, because they have not trained or learned for it. Okay. Same is there with the humans. Humans are also not being trained that much times that how to land on top of a water body. but still many times they are able to do it because of the logical thinking process, ad hoc response. This is ad hoc response, right? So I know physics. I know how my planes are performing. I know if this engine is not working, so I need to cut off some of the load. So which kind of load I can cut off? Okay, how to redistribute the load? Okay, what kind of systems I should run? What kind of system I should shut down? And based on the navigation, I have some manual, some system, and some discussion based and all that. I was able to do it on top of a water body. This is ad hoc response, right? Which machines are not having by default. Fine. Now, self-learning another example could be two kids, right? One is raised in, say, in Chennai in Tamil family. Another is being raised in, say, in Maharashtra in Marathi family. He will learn Tamil, he will learn Marathi. Other will learn Marathi. How come? Self-learning, right? This is the self-learning. Our brain learns by default. So how it actually learns? With the help of something called neurons, right? The same neurons are there with the neural network. Okay. So over a period of time, the neurons are getting trained. Trained means their parameters are getting set. So the same happens in neural network. Billions of parameters are there which are getting set. Okay. And when the whole training happens, you know that all the parameters are being set. Okay. If you recall your GPTs, they mention billions of parameters. Okay, GPT-4 is having these many parameters. GPT-3 is having these many parameters and so on, right? So they use ANN and some kind of transformers and all that to learn this. So this is default with the humans, and for machines, we have to make it. So those kind of paradigms are being mimicked in real life to make the learning happen. And this is artificial, obviously, right? Coming to the third one, do you really require cognitive capabilities with the machines or not? Yes, please. Don't you? Say, somebody is calling to call center. Different set of people, we have different kind of emotional condition that point of time. Somebody will be happy, somebody will be angry, somebody will be disturbed, somebody will be something else. There are 18, 19 kind of emotions. If you have a bot, which is a voice bot trained with the help of humans, right? So that user will feel that actually he's talking to a real human being. Now, would you want to have a bot which will not understand the emotion and then respond, or you want to have a bot which can understand emotion to respond back?
Emotion and
Yes.
respond.
So the way, so emotional connect is nothing but feeling to the customer's issues. If you cannot do that, then it will be standard reply, your current chatbot, okay, which are not very useful. So you have to gauge the customer's emotion, and accordingly, you have to behave and respond back. Okay, so you may have some kind of use cases where emotional understanding and emotional behavior is required. Another one. Suppose your self-driving car is there. It is going on the road and it sees, okay, that somebody or some elderly wants to cross the road. At a as a good gesture, the car can stop and people can cross it. Now, this is emotional behavior, right? Though it doesn't happen, especially in India, the action is exactly reverse. Okay, if you try to cross it, people will speed up. Okay, but this is something is being offered in many places by humans itself. So maybe the cars can also do that, so that some good gesture can be shown to the people who are willing to cross the road and all that. Okay, again, you have to think about the use cases. Okay, where you really want emotional quotient has to be present as part of the outcome. Some kind of subjectivity has to be there.
We could add a voice on in this case.
See, come again?
We could add a voice on in this case to please get aside rather than stopping the car.
Yes. Or you just show the outcome. Okay. Another use case, right, which is very much relevant in context of India, judiciary. In judiciary, so you have rules, but each case is different. You want judge because subjectively intervention is required, isn't it? If it is only objective intervention, then maybe every time judges are not required because rules can be decoded in different way in different context. Okay, with the ultimate objective is to give justice to the some set of people who are actually suffering in this case. Okay, so there's some part on the rule which is hard coded, but a lot of portion is there which is not hard coded, soft coded. So based on that, if you really want to have AI driven judges, you need to have those kind of quotient, which is emotional quotient, isn't it? So need to identify the dominant emotion in this case, and based on that, you have to explain or use the rules to provide the justice. So there's a difference between decision and justice, right? And that decision is the subjective part of it. So in many times, right, many times it is required to have subjective intervention, right? We always take subjective intervention as negative, but subjective intervention is also required. Okay, fine. Now, one thing I really want to ask you, do you think AI can actually do a subjective intervention?
Maybe.
But it could be labeled as bias.
So how to balance subjective and objective things? This is an interesting thing which is coming up, huh? Subjectivity and objectivity, right? Just try, try to have this one. How the subjectivity and objectivities are interlinked actually. When you give input to ChatGPT, right? I'm taking example of AI, right? What input is subjective or objective? It's subjective.
Subjective.
Right? You can describe, right? That's why it's subjective. Output is what? Subjective or objective? Subjective. Okay. The machine or the core engine which is processing the subjective input
Is objective.
and creating the subjective output itself is objective. The transformers are mathematical engines. Each layer is having some mathematical formulas and there are multiple parameters. I mean, this is interesting to know. Your objective machines are taking a subjective input and creating subjective output. Okay. So again, if I take the same example of judiciary, the rules are quite objective. But input, which is varied, subjective, the same objective engine can be decoded subjectively. Okay, because somebody has asked me that rules are quite objective, how can you decode it differently and so on. So this is a good example. Actually, in real life, what happens, the same is happening in the AI domain itself. So subjectivity and objectivities are not very different from each other. They are interlinked. Okay, so the norms are there objectively, but applications are subjective, right? Based on the environment, context, and all that. And we are very good at subjective things. Okay. Now, how we use it, whether we wanted to use it, what is the purpose? Okay. So whether we use it for good of the society or for ourselves or something else, that translates into different kind of actions. Right. So I hope I am able to, make you understand what are the capabilities that are there with AI and how these capabilities are required. Right. Let me also at the same point of time highlight this. We have analytics. Analytics is being used as a system in AI. So reactive AI is more on the analytics side, which is data driven. Okay. So I would say predictive analytics or analytics is one kind of system and AI is another. What is predictive analytics? Is called knowledge base. Okay. Knowledge based systems. Why knowledge-based systems? Because in predictive analytics, what you do, you give the data and then you learn. So learning is nothing but finding the pattern. Pattern is knowledge. And how knowledge comes? With experience, past data. If you work in this company for 10 years, you know everything about this company. That's your knowledge base. It is there because of virtue of you being there, past data. Right? But AI or intelligence is more about the wisdom. So with knowledge, you know what will happen. You have the pattern. You know what will happen. But with AI, you know the concepts. So you also know why it is happening. And that is why the analytics-based systems are reactive. Wisdom-based systems or concepts-based systems are proactive. Fine. So if my learning is there, so people always ask this, right? See, AI is also using data, analytics is also using data. Well, how is it different? Both are using data. Both are using data, but their learning is different. One is learning for the pattern, another is learning for the concept. Okay. Another crude example to explain this. Two kids. Okay. They have been given a book, mathematics ka book. One has simply marked up everything, all the examples. Another has understood the concept. If the question paper is there having questions only from the same book, then both of them perform equally because one will mug up, another is having the concept. But if the questions are coming from another book on the same concept, the first one will never perform because I don't have the past data for it, right? But the second one who has learned for the concept will perform. This is proactive. So AI, the core development of AI is to make system proactive. So that's why the reactive systems are nothing but the data driven, or I would say analytics based systems. Okay. We want to have systems to be proactive. Okay. So that I can respond in a way for some set of problems which are not being, given to the system to learn. I understood the concept itself. I get a point. I just wanted to differentiate and wanted to build on this why we want AI. Okay. Now, proactive systems are very useful. Why? Because automation is at higher level. Okay. So my system will on runtime decide that how many campaigns I have supposed to run for what products, what should be the pricing, which I was giving as a part of data initially. Now system itself will do automatically, right? Because system has become intelligent. Okay. So this is AI. Now, if you wanted to use it in any specific context, then you identify where you want intelligence. Okay, that means where you really want subjectivity and what kind of subjectivity. And then you start building the system from the back, right? From the top to the back end. Do not try to do from the top, back end to top. That is the problem which is happening. People have developed the systems and then they say what to do. No, you identify the problem first and then you go back. That what actually, how you are going to implement it back. Okay, so product development is taking a different way. So that's why the design thinking kind of approaches have become very popular. Okay, where you start from the front end customer experience side and you say, okay, what other experience I wanted to add to my customers' requirements. And then you identify where is the intelligence part, where is the subjectivity. Okay, and then you build for it and so on. So this has partially answered Mr. Cliff's question that, okay, how I can use it, right? So if you are clear about the use case, fine, you can use it. So just think about any specific use case with respect to, say, marketing. Okay, I will give you one. I will start with the problem and then the solution. I have to say buy a travel insurance. Okay, how will I buy? I will go to the different websites and search for it. We'll see the pricing. The pricing is not very different for different products. So I checked 5 or 6 and I picked up one. I will not use name which one I picked up. And after I picked up, paid for it, I got a call from other one that you search for it and why didn't you buy it? So I said I bought from this particular platform, and because of this reason I wanted to have this. So they said, no sir, we also have this one. But the first page, which was the decision point, I didn't get that point, which I was looking for, or which is very much important for me. So that insurance product, which was a travel insurance, used to offer, say, 120 kind of services. In a single snapshot, only 5 or 6 can be placed. Right? Now, how do system will get to know that which user is looking for which particular kind of information? And based on what is being shown as a first screen to the user, the purchase decision is being happening, or further kind of interactions are happening. Okay, this is where you can bring AI. That the moment you get a particular customer, based on some of his profile, you can customize the offering, or you can customize the the features which you are going to offer as a part of this product, because that's a deciding factor. I got your point or not? So you have to always start from the backend. And this is a very good use case of AI, which is content personalization for the first interaction. What content of the product you wanted to emphasize on? Okay. This is very similar in terms of what is being mentioned in the case. Which case? This one. Disney, right? Where some of this content kind of personalization is happening, right? So you got to know that if customer is coming to me, now this is interesting. Customer is coming to me, that means the first part of the customer life cycle is there, awareness. Still, you're not able to convert the customer. Why? Because he didn't see which he is looking for. He saw that in another product and he bought it, right? Even if he starts communicating with you with a chatbot, your chatbot should be knowing that how the communication should have. It should be subjective based on maximizing the probability of purchase. Okay, you involve him on those parameters, which is very important parameters for him. How do you get to know? You have 180 things to offer. Okay, and if he's looking for some hyper personalization kind of thing, which is happening, so you got personalization. Now the era is for hyper personalization. That in personalization, what was happening? That each one will be offered based on his requirement, right? It's not like one fit all solution. I have 20 users and I got 20 different kind of recommendations for him. Okay. But hyper personalization is within the recommendation, you can give various variations. For example, I'm giving him these 5 options. And within these 5 options, I can customize further based on his requirements. Okay, that's more dynamic. This is called hyper personalization. Okay. So hyper personalization is being done with the help of AI. Again, to fulfill the requirement of the customers and all that. Right? I hope you are getting these examples. Okay. Coming to again this machine learning wala thing, just wanted to finish it off quickly. Another way of classifying the artificial intelligence, which is based on the scope. What is the scope of intelligence? Okay, this is artificial. Yeah. So we have something called narrow AI, which is also called weak AI. Now, narrow AI are those kind of systems which are being trained for a specific task. Okay. So you do this. So you are an agent which takes the booking of this particular thing, or you are a AI waiter which is being trained to take orders. The only thing which you can do is taking the orders, and you can talk to the customer and describe what they are asking for, and you can take the order. That is narrow AI. Scope is limited to a particular task. But what we have is not, narrow AI, rather something else. Yes, somebody has asked something.
Sir, Anmol this side. So would SLMs also be an example of narrow AI, or because they do perform lot of tasks, but within a specific set of domain or scope?
Mm-hmm. So, maybe they are narrow AI itself, more on narrow AI because scope is limited. But again, the definition is not there to restrict for the compartmentalization, right? That this is narrow, this is general. Idea is just to identify the purpose of it. So generic, the second one which I am going to talk about is general AI. So general AI is closer to the humans, where the intelligence can be utilized in multiple tasks, right? In narrow AI, the task is very much limited. In general AI, the task is not defined, rather intelligence is there so that you can do multitasking at the same point of time. You are trained for general things, right? So whether you want to classify in X and Y, for me, it's not a very big question. If scope is limited to a particular task or set of tasks, it's more on the narrow side, less on general side. If it is more on generic capacity, which can be assigned the task later on, okay, then it is on more on the general side. So the training is happened for the task, or training is happened for the phenomena that will define or differentiate between general versus narrow, right? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
More about the scope. Where is my PPT? Oh. You can see that? Can you see the PPT?
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay, so I mean, the task is well defined, so it will work only up to this. After that, it will not work. So you have a strong AI or general AI, which is closer to us, where we can have human-like intelligence. So if you ask me do this, I will do that. If you ask me do something else, I will do that also. Right? So I can teach, I can trade, I can make coffee, I can drive. Right? This is all a task which I can perform, though I'm not being trained specifically for all of them. Rather, I have a general intelligence for this, right? Okay. Now, another thing is super intelligent, right? Super intelligent AI is nothing but higher ability in terms of humans, right? So this AI or super intelligent AI is again a concept. We have not reached to that level as of now. Okay, but we are moving towards that. Fine, where even the intelligence capability will be higher than that of humans. So the physical capacity or capacity of doing repetitive task or something like this anyway is higher with the machines. Okay, we are at low end. But even the thinking capacity is higher than the machines. This will be called super intelligent AI. Okay. Now that super intelligent AI will be a big risk because machines will outperform in physical acumen as well as human acumen, both. Right. So I don't know what will happen, but this is again a concept where even in the intelligence is higher with the machines than the humans and all.
Will the Elon Musk rocket be considered as super intelligent?
What Elon Musk rocket used to do?
It used to auto land itself.
So it is actually intelligent, right? Because you want landing to happen.
It's a narrow AI.
Yeah. So
It's a weak AI.
if someone is sitting
Okay.
there or controlling it, then he can do that, right? So you
Okay.
are putting auto system there so that for landing you do not require a human, right?
Got it.
So this
Got
is
it.
kind of narrow. Again, narrow or general or super intelligent. I'm not going to cover. I've not covered just for the compartmentalization, right? For the categorization, just for the describing the phenomena,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So
Okay. Got it.
two of you may have this difference. Okay, this is narrow or this is general, but it may be happening that okay, some part is narrow, some part is general. More about is understanding the phenomenon, right? Fine. Can we stop? I am tired. Totally. Same with you, right? So we can say goodbye and we can move for the dinner.
Yes, sir.
So I will send you this PPT. Can you give me the group email ID if you have?
We'll put it in the chat, sir.
Yeah, that will be good if you give in the chat. The group email ID. And next session we'll be doing the case also, right? So you have already read the case. So if you have time, you can also go through the readings. Huh? What is that chat me? Did you write it?
Yeah, so we just trying. My laptop is stuck.
That's
Dhaval,
okay. So I will get with the from the office also. That's okay. Okay. Or you send it to me on my email. Okay. So my
So if you
email
could ping
is
your ID, then we could send a mail and also loop in the group ID.
yes, that is possible. That is possible. You can do that. So I will just write my email ID. Okay.
So the chat
Group
is updated
ID.
with the group ID.
Yeah, it's provided.
Yes. Oh, I got it. This is okay. The same one. Good. So I just copied it and I will send you the PPTs. Fine. We can stop here.
Yes.
Thank you.